Mother's Day is coming, and I don't know about your mom, but my mom deserves a nice Wagyu steak. We're not doing filet mignon, we're doing a cut of ribeye. It's gonna be delicious, and because you guys have asked for it, we made a whole meal out of it. Let's get into it. What's up, barbecue fans? Welcome back to Patio. My name's Jake, you're watching Mama Cook. Today on the channel, we're cooking some Wagyu ribeye fillets. Looks like a filet mignon, although it's made out of ribeye, and they're gonna be absolutely delicious. Snake River Farm reached out. We were talking about Mother's Day. They have a sale coming up, which I will put the dates down below, and you'll be able to get Mom some steak that she deserves. So what we're gonna do today is I'm going to cook them 3 ways. They sent me 2. I had already bought some previously. I love them, so I know exactly how good they are. I pulled out a 3rd one, and we're gonna cook it 3 different ways to give you some ideas. But because you guys are always asking, can you make a whole meal? We're making a whole meal with a couple sides today. How you like that? So, first things we gotta do is we gotta do our potato here. This guy, I'm actually gonna cheat, and I'm gonna cook it in the oven inside because I want this to cook at a much higher temperature than we're gonna start our Connected Joe at. We're gonna reverse sear 2 of the 3 steaks, and then we're gonna finish them different ways, so each of the steaks will have a completely different finish. But for this guy, because we're only gonna be at 225, this will take forever to cook. So we're gonna put it inside. And what I'm gonna do here is I've got some water here, and this is just Diamond Crystal kosher salt. We're gonna put a fair amount in here and make ourselves a salty water solution. And really, I'm just gonna put this potato in here, and we're gonna stab it a couple times so it doesn't explode on us. And I'm gonna let this sit in here for, I don't know, a couple minutes. Why are we doing this? Well, what'll happen is this salty water will dry on the skin, and it's gonna give us a little bit of salt on the outside, much like if we put a coating of salt with some oil, which we're gonna do as well, because I love a salty skin, because Mom always told me all the nutrients is in the skin of the potato. So when I eat a potato, I eat the whole thing, including the skin. So we're gonna let this sit for 2 minutes in here, then we'll bring it out, put some oil on it, some salt, and we'll put it in the oven. Let's get some salt on the outside of this. It's been a few minutes. It is quite warm outside. It's the first time it broke 80, so I expect this will dry off pretty quick. I was gonna let this dry off, but you know what? I don't really need any oil on the outside. I can get some salt with the water, it'll stick. I'm just trying to get, you know, a little bit of salt on the outside to stick, just to give it a little bit more flavor. And that's really it. So this potato is gonna go in the oven just as it sits for an hour. No foil. We don't wanna put foil on it because it's gonna make that skin all soft. I'm looking for more of a crunchy skin for this potato. It's not your average baked potato. There's more steps. I'll bring it back in a little bit. So we've got an hour to kill while our potato is in the oven. It means we've got to prep some things that are gonna go with our potatoes. And first off, I'm gonna show you my ultimate bacon hack. We need some bacon bits. So what I do is in the freezer, I keep frozen bacon. I open up down the side, I peel it back. This is the only time you'll see me using a plastic cutting board, mainly because I'm using a bread knife and I don't wanna ruin my good board. Speaking of cutting boards, if you're into cutting boards, I do have a video coming up where I'm talking all about cutting boards. I have a whole bunch of them. Might have a slight addiction to cutting boards, but I've got some things to share with you. Some tips and tricks. If you like that, don't forget to subscribe below. But what we're gonna do here is we're gonna cut this down here and make ourselves some big old bacon bits, all right? These are gonna cook in a frying pan, and as they cook, the individual pieces of bacon will come apart and we'll have bacon bits. I use this all the time. Oops, peel back your paper. Bacon and egg sandwich. Yes, please. I just cut up a bunch of these, cook them until they're almost done, throw my egg on top of them, and I got bacon bits right in my sandwich. What's not to like about that? So what we do is we just keep this in our freezer, and whenever you need it, it'll be ready and waiting for you. So we're just gonna fry these up real quick. Just put that in a cold pan, bring it up the temperature slowly, and we'll simmer this away until they're done. So after only a few minutes, you can see that our bacon has defrosted, broken it down into little pieces now. And I like to do this slowly just so I can keep breaking down the pieces and make sure that they all get nice and crispy. Essentially what we're doing right now is we're just making some bacon bits. These will take just another few minutes. And after about 10 minutes, our bacon is looking delicious, nice and crispy. exactly what I'm looking for here. Man, the smell of bacon. I went inside, I come outside and I'm like, oh, it's like heaven. Something about it. So what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna scoop this. I just got some paper towel. Trying not to get any pieces left in here because they're just gonna burn, but I'm gonna reuse this here. And for this guy, I just got some paper towel here. I just like to wrap it up. All the oil kind of fell to the bottom. You can see on the bottom, so now I'll just turn it around upside down so that the top gets covered and it drains out that way. And this can just go off to the side and cool off. We'll use that later. Now we need an onion. Now, as I watch food porn on the internet, otherwise known as YouTube cooking shows, I see there's a whole bunch of ways to cut onions, lots of fancy ways. Nothing fancy about my way. I cut it in half, turn it on its side, cut, 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 depending on how thick of slices I'm trying to make. Go a little past center, flip it over. There we go, we got some diced onions. No need to overcomplicate it. And you can go as fine or as big as you want, right? But we've got some diced onions. Now they won't be perfect like some of the other ways, but I don't care. So what I've done now is I've just wiped out our frying pan here. We're gonna leave a little bit of the fond there from the bacon, but I wanted to wipe out the bacon just so I didn't burn any and ruin the flavor of our onions. I'm also going to put a little bit of olive oil here. It actually cooled down a little bit more than I thought, but that's okay. So as you can hear, our onions are sizzling away here. You can have a gentle sizzle here. Do not get crazy and cook them too fast. We want to pull all this water out and just make a nice sauteed sweet onion at the end of it. We'll put our salt on now, just some diamond crystal salt, help pull out that moisture. And now we will babysit these guys for 7 to 10 minutes. So after about 9 minutes, you can see our onions are exactly where we want them. They've got a little texture to them. They're not mush, but they're nice and soft. And they've got some brown edges on there. And because of that bacon fond, they've got a little bit of extra flavor in there. Now we can get these guys off the heat. I hear you. So now we've got our onions done, the bacon's done, and our potatoes almost done. Let's get the Connected Joe fired up. So here we are. Let's get this guy open. Put some Fogo in here. And really, I'm using more than is actually needed. And the reason for that is because I'm doing a couple different things in this. We will actually just put both of them here. That'll make sure we've got a nice cool side. And for now, we're gonna start these up top. There's a reason for that. I'm not sure if one of my contraptions is gonna fit on half the size. So right now we'll start this how it is. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna run this at 225 to begin with. So we will close this guy up. We'll turn on our Connected Joe. Turn this guy on. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna close our drawer because we're using automatic mode. And 225 is where I'm gonna have it. We'll lock in our temperature. It tells us where to put our vent. You can hear the fan start. I just got actually an alert on my watch. And it says enter low temperature. It's just getting ready to start up. And it told us to adjust our top vent. So we're gonna adjust our top vent and we'll let that come up to temperature. So I just pulled our potato out of the oven. It's resting and cooling off so we can get on the next steps. While we're doing that, the Kamado Joe is up to temperature. It's actually been running for about 20 minutes at this point. So we know just by touching, we're nice and warm. Up top, the dome's working exactly how we want it to do, sucking up that heat and firing the heat back into the meat. Speaking of meat, look at these guys. These are 10-ounce Snake River Farm Wagyu Ribeye fillets. So think of it like a filet mignon, but better because it's actually going to have flavor. I know lots of people love filet mignon and it's tender, but these are going to be tender and they're going to have a lot more flavor, and they're also going to have a lot more flavor because we dry brine these. So about 20 hours ago, I took these out of the package, I put them on this rack, we put them on a plate, and I took some Diamond Kosher salt and salted a nice heavy coat all the way around the outside of them, and we just put them in the fridge for 20 hours. So now we're gonna take 2 of these. I have one more that's not salted yet. We're gonna do something different with that. We're gonna put some pepper on these because we don't have any on there yet. Let's get out our pepper cannon. Fresh cracked pepper on a steak is a must-have. And here on this plate, I've got some Wagyu tallow. What I'm gonna do here is we will open this up before I get my hands too dirty, and we will, look at that color. Look at the marbling. Mom deserves some Wagyu, but all we're gonna do here, just like so, right? I just want something that our pepper can stick to. And that right there is perfect. I guess the cutting board is already a mess, but what we'll do is we will take some pepper over here in this wind. Perfect time for it to kick up. And then we just got some pepper on our steak. Whatever you do, do not put salt on this again. I made that mistake the first time, and boy, is it a mistake. You will have an extremely salty piece of meat that you will have trouble eating because it's so salty. And because my steaks are nice and cold, you can see the tallow is actually solidifying while we're doing this. Gonna hold that pepper in there. And all we need on a good piece of meat is some salt and pepper. And now what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna reverse sear these. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, Snake River Farms sent these to me to celebrate Mother's Day. And what they're doing, I'll put the dates down below, but they have a sale coming up. And the date is March 3rd through 7th. This video will be up a week in advance, so you have lots of time to prepare for it. But what they're doing is if you spend $200, you're gonna get one of these guys for free. If you spend $249, you'll get 2 of them for free. $349, you'll get 4 for free. So you get some free meat, and let me tell you, I've had these guys tons of times. 10-ounce solid piece of meat, and I will take it over a filet mignon any day of the week because they are absolutely delicious. They're full of marbling. Now, I am embarrassed to say, the Connected Joe has pit probes, right? I put them in a safe spot so I wouldn't lose them. And right now that safe spot is escaping me. So we're gonna use the meter probe. Obviously these are expensive pieces of meat, so I do not want to ruin them. And we're gonna go right into this line here, all the way down the center so we know exactly where we are. And these are actually different sizes. One's a little bit taller, so we want to make sure we get them done at the same time. And all we're doing right now is we're going to cook these guys at 225 and slowly bring them up to temperature, and then we'll get on the searing spot. So what we'll do is we'll put these guys on over the indirect side. One like so, one like so. And again, I'm on the indirect side. We've got both the heat deflectors down below. We'll close this guy back up. We will get out our phone, go to the meter plus here, and we are doing beef. Now I like mine to finish around 130, 134. So I'm gonna set this to 130. We'll do both of them. Let's go get our potato. So before we bring out our potato, we've gotta get this guy warmed up. Now I told you we're doing 3 steaks, 3 different ways, and I mentioned that I didn't have to dry brine the one. Here's why. This is a salt block, and what we're gonna do here is you preheat this slowly. If you heat it up too quickly, it will break in half. So when you get a brand new one, you put it in the oven at 200 for about 20 minutes, then you put it up to 300 for another 15 minutes, then you put it up to 400 or 450 for another 20 minutes, and then you just turn off your oven, let it come down to temperature. So this has been run through the heat cycle once now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in now to bring it up to temperature, and I'm going to put this over the direct side so that this can start to get warmed up. We're running low enough that I think it's gonna be fine to put it in there like that. So we'll just put that in there like that. You'll hear it start to crack a little bit, and we'll let that come up to temperature slowly. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna let our steaks come up, and while they're resting, we'll dial that up a little bit more and we'll put our other steak on there. But my goal is to get the salt up to about 500 degrees. And what'll happen there is we don't season our meat at all, because cooking on that salt is gonna suck salt into the meat through the cooking process. So now we can go get our potato. So our first two steaks have about 15 minutes left before they're up to temperature. Gives us the perfect amount of time to work on our potato. Now, as you can see, it's still crunchy. Now, when you pull this out of the oven right away, it's gonna be super crunchy. Don't worry, this is gonna crunch right back up on the next steps. You can see there's lots of salt attached to it. But what we're gonna do is we're making my favorite potato, which is a twice baked potato. And essentially, there's a couple different ways to do it. The easiest way I found is just to cut the top off like so. All right, then we got some goodness right there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this potato out of the skin, just peel that back real quick, and add that in there so it doesn't go to waste. And then we'll take a spoon here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna scoop out the outside. Now be careful, don't rip the skin, and just go along the outside there. Now, if you were to do this and this potato was in foil, the skin would just tear on you. And the good thing about this is that these will actually stay hot for a long time. They've actually been sitting out for, I don't know, 25 minutes or so on the counter cooling off. But because they're gonna go back on the grill to finish up, they will heat right back up. They're still warm, but basically I'm trying to get as much as I can out of here, but still leave the integrity of the skin intact. And just like that, we've got a hollow potato, some butter here. We've got some sour cream here. And now we're bringing back in our onions. I like a lot of onions myself. I cut up some green onions. We're gonna put some of those in there for some color and some flavor. And we're gonna put some bacon in there. Ooh, that might be a little too much. Did I just say that? It'll be fine. You can never have too much bacon. And what we'll do is we'll just give this a quick blend. Oh, hold up. Hold up. A little bit of salt. Gonna have to wash my pepper can in now, but a little bit of pepper. There we go. Now we're good. Definitely a little easier to blend when you've got more than one potato in here. We're gonna put a little bit more sour cream. Like, I like them creamy, so that sour cream will help with that. All right. Now what we'll do is we'll get our potato all together. Now this is guaranteed to impress any guest. These things are absolutely delicious. And as I'm all done, I'm remembering, looks pretty, would have been better with some cheddar cheese. Yes, yes. This is for Mom after all. We've got to get some cheddar cheese in there. Can't believe I forgot that. All right, so we got some cheese in there. We'll mix that in. We'll put a nice little layer of goodness in the bottom. Don't forget to pack your potato because you've got some other toppings in here. It's going to be a little taller. How's that for a potato? Let's get this stuff out of here. And now what we'll do is we will take a potato, just take some smoked paprika, thank you wind. And just like that, we've got a twice baked potato. And this can just go on and sit there. Get warmed up. We'll put it on the outside. Set that guy in there. Steaks are looking good. They've got about 13 minutes left. Let the guy get up temperature. So our steaks are done. Let's get these guys off. Our meter alerted us I got tied up on a phone call, so we went a little bit beyond where it said to, but we're at 127 right now. So we're gonna have a little bit of carryover. 129 on that one. I'm sure I'm in the center there. Oh, 127.5. Perfect shape. I'm happy with that. These are gonna rest and they will carry over a little bit. And of course, when we sear them, they're gonna come up even more. So as you can see, we've got some great color on these guys. They are super, super tender. I gotta tell you, I've eaten tons of these. These are gonna be delicious. Let's show you our potato real quick. You can see we're still at low temperature, right? So we're not crisping up yet. We're just starting to get some color on the outside. Now I'm gonna turn up the temperature a little bit. So now what I want to do is I want to come up closer to about a 400 degrees. I'm not sure what temperature I need to be at to get my stone up to temperature. So I'm going to try 400 because it's right over the coals. Take my instant read gun and see where it's at. What we're going to do is well, I'll just do it on the app. How's that? All right, so what we'll do is we'll open up our Kimono Joe app. We're still in beta mode here. And I just had this open a little bit, so our temperature's creeped up, but we're going to set this up to, like I said, 400. I'm going to hit confirm. The fan just kicked on. Now I know from experience that we've got to come up a little bit, so we're going to go right between the second and the third line and see where that puts us. It doesn't have to be quite as open as it would normally because we've got that fan pushing through some air. So we'll let this guy get up to temperature. We're going to let these rest inside for a good 15 minutes or so, and then we'll get on next steps. So our dome temperature is reading 500 degrees. I bumped it up a little bit more. The goal here is to get our stone. We're at 486, 473, depending where we're at. So we're pretty darn close. The potatoes getting a little crunchy. I'll take that off in a sec. But what we're gonna do here, this is at room temperature. No salt, no nothing. Just sizzle. Let me get a plate and I'll pull that potato off because it is done. Let's have a look at our steak here. Now that, my friends, is some sear. What we're gonna do is we're gonna keep turning this so that we try and avoid the gray line as much as we can and just keep turning it until we get up in temperature. So our steak is still moving along here. And what I've done is I started to tilt it. But I mean, come on, look at that sear. I've got some sear on the edges now. I'm just trying to get all the edges. But while we're waiting for that, we might as well sear this other one here. I've got this guy here. This is at around 400. I would like it a little hotter, but it's as hot as it's gonna go on this induction burner. And I just put a tiny bit of tallow in there because it was heating for a long time and I didn't want it to burn. But we'll add some butter goodness in there. And right away, we're gonna add in our garlic and our thyme. Look at the color on that. Here we are at the final product. Not gonna lie, I actually thought about throwing some bourbon on top of the salt block one and firing it up. However, I actually have never tried it on a salt block by itself, so I wanted to see what it was like alone. Look, potatoes delicious. It did get a little crispy on the one side as we got it up. The heat up, asparagus is good. I like a little crunch on mine. A little olive oil, a little salt and pepper, and then some salt out of that board. Tastes delicious. I'm gonna go right in here and try this one. Of course, the sun went in at the wrong time. It's got a fairly thick line around it, more than I expected. The center is perfect. I like mine to finish at like 134, 135. So this is a good temperature for me. That's tasty. No seasoning, no nothing, just meat and a little bit of salt. That is tasty. I'll be doing that again. This one is just the one that was just seared right over the lump. Traditional style. Before I try the one with thyme and garlic, let's look at last week's winner. Let's look at this week's contest winner. This was the picanha video. And the hashtags were hashtag picanha, hashtag Snake River Farms. 33 comments. Let's see who won. Fred Schaefer. Love when you try new products live. Hashtag Picanha, hashtag Snake River Farms. Listen, I don't practice my videos. I roll out, whether it be a new accessory or something new I'm trying. I fire up the grill and I try it. If I make mistakes, I'm happy to share that with you guys. I just try to be as real as possible. So, Fred, you won yourself a $25 gift card to appbbq.com. I will comment on your comment, asking you to email me, then we'll confirm it's you, and we'll get that gift card out to you. And finally, we'll try, this one is the one that was finished in a cast iron pan with some thyme and garlic. Notice I'm not just trying a little bit of each of them. That Snake River Farms Wagyu Ribeye Filet is delicious. It is tender, it's full of flavor, kills a filet mignon any day of the week. I don't really have a favorite here. They're all like really, really good. This one surprised me. I want to experiment on that a little bit, see if I can get less gray in there. Both these were really good. I mean, I do like thyme on steak. So this is really good, but I don't think it can go wrong either way. All depends what your mom likes. Let me try this potato because we know it's got extra bacon and goodness in there. If you've never made one of these, just want to eat the whole thing. They're freaking delicious. This week's contest. Quick reminder about that. All you gotta do is be subscribed to the channel. You gotta like this video. Use the hashtag Snake River Farms and Wagyu Beef. You'll be entered in random contest to win $25 gift card to bbq.com. And if you're a Patreon member, I'll double it and make it 50 bucks. All you gotta do is leave a comment down below, use those hashtags, and I will use a random comment picker. And if I pick your comment, you will win $25 gift card to bbq.com. And again, if you're a Patreon member, I'll double that, make it 50 bucks. This is delicious. If you love your mom, this is the dinner to cook her. I will leave a link down to the Snake River Farms ribeye caps down below and a reminder of when the sale is. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.